favor. This is one more, please. How are you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic.
Doing great, man.
Happy to be here.
Hey, there we go. Welcome to Otra, por favor.
Otra, por favor.
Man, it's been an eventful day. Before we get started, we just want to thank everyone that's been listening to us and been sharing our podcast. It's for us, it's flattering, and it's also, we appreciate it. And we also appreciate the people that come and share their stories. And today we have a very special guest. I met him a couple years ago, I would say before the pandemic. And this dude, when it comes to perseverance, training, and also just being a great human being, overall, he's right there. As y'all know, we talk about Fútbol, vida and cultura, and today we're gonna talk a little about football, but the main focus is talk about Ross, his story, and then what he's about, and you guys will hear. Ross, your last name is
Churn like butter.
Churn
like butter.
Like butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Before I say it wrong.
No, I appreciate the words. Yeah, it's I'm super stoked to be here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's just do a quick recap of the World Cup. Argentina's in the final. Messi is one step closer to just becoming part of the elite that has won a World Cup.
Yeah, it's like it was written in the stars, man. His fated trip back to the World Cup final. It seems like the team is finally molded around him, and he feels like that true leader that Argentina has always asked for him to be. And he's faced like an incredible amount of pressure to be, but those vocal leadership qualities similar to what Diego Armando Maradona had is not who Messi is. They're not the same person. But now he's at that stage of his career where he knows that this is probably his last dance.
Yeah.
So he's stepped into a leadership role way more comfortably, and he is demonstrating it through passion and fire that I've never seen.
Amazing.
I've never seen from him before.
I've never seen talk shit in the field like this, and I've never seen
confidence.
Yeah, and I've never seen him talk shit. Like whenever there's a mixed press. Que me ve, bobo? Que ve?
Que mira, bobo.
Que mira, bobo.
Vete pa' allá. Yeah, dude, that was crazy. But
it's pretty much telling him, hey, you're my best friend. Thank you for playing with you.
Basically the opposite of that.
He's saying, like, what the fuck are you looking at, asshole? Go away.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But today's game was incredible. I mean, they defeated Croatia 3-0.
Yeah.
Total domination. Croatia has nothing to they can leave the tournament with their head held high. Just to think about, they're a nation of 4 million people.
Yeah. And
they managed to get to such late stages of the tournament. This World Cup and the one before as runner-ups. It's incredible, and an incredible last dance for Luka Modric. But dude, I just want to know, what do y'all think? Does this team have what it takes to be the champions?
What do you think, Ross?
I actually haven't seen the game. I didn't see the game.
Oh.
So I'm not really
Check
sure,
it out,
but
bro.
I already know that Messi is a legend.
You would, say, if you get a chance to check out even just the highlights, man, Messi reinvented himself this tournament. And I think with the team that he has, it's, it's there. You can see it. Like, you can smell the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like he's going to be the winner. He's going to take it home.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have the second semifinal with Morocco facing France. Morocco being the dark horse of the tournament. And the entire nation of Morocco is super excited. You could see footage of Moroccans in different parts of the world just celebrating like if they already won the World Cup, because it's such a historic thing for their nation to go so far in the tournament. And they're facing the current champions, French. The French side, which is a stacked side, playing beautiful soccer, just defeated England a couple days ago. But I don't know, man. I would love to see an upset. I would love to see Morocco in the final. That would be historic because, I have no horse in this race anymore, but I always like to root for an underdog. So,
to achieve, you have to believe.
There you go.
There we go. The final will be the game against between France and Morocco is tomorrow at 1, and then the finals on Sunday at 9 o'clock.
I believe so. I have to double check, but
I have to wake up early. Damn.
It's gonna be insane, dude. It's gonna be insane. This has been probably one of the most memorable World Cups that I've ever seen or I've ever even heard of. So I hope everyone's enjoying it and getting a lot out of it too. I know they are if they're watching it. But hey, man,
dude. And one quick thing is just also Austin FC. They are going into the MLS Next Pro with Austin FC 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much basically a developmental program for players that don't get minutes in the first team. It's a good option. We are hopefully going to have someone from the team swing by the studio and talk more about it, what the goal is, who, say what they're trying to accomplish with this. But apparently it looks like it's going to be a pretty incredible thing for the next generation of, soccer players in America. And especially as they're competing with other countries, what they're trying to do, it's going to be good.
It's excited to see our Austin FC team continue to grow in different aspects. And huge shout out to their even their media team. I believe got a year-end award, and just the way that they dropped the announcement to this Austin FC 2 was creative, like with the crafting of that big wooden piece, and then it dropped the emblem on there and put the 2 dashes. I mean, it's sick. It just That's just a small piece of an organization that shows you that that there's a vision. It's not just
every time season. I've been to a game at the Q2 Stadium, the content and like the marketing and the video editing on the screens, I actually said to the people, I was like, this is incredible. This is so, it's like I'm watching like the coolest reel ever, on the screen. So I agree.
And if you even look back to their hype videos, it just gets you so pumped to go to the next game, So
right.
I gotta say, man, if there's one thing we have in Austin is, when it comes to, like, maybe we didn't take the MLS Cup last year, but we kick anyone's ass when it comes up to, like, music and when it comes up to media, whether it's, like, in the team, like, the team's official or the supporters' media. Like, we just got the best.
For sure.
And anything else you want to add, Koke, to the soccer?
No, man. I think that's all I have as far as the soccer end. I can't wait to watch the final. I would hope to see either Morocco win, or it would be great to see Messi, achieve that elite GOAT status.
I can already hear it now.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, man. Now let's jump into the meat. We already got the appetizer. It was a quick one.
Why is it the meat though?
Well, it could be the main entree.
Are you feeling carnivorous today?
I'm always carnivorous.
I'll take it.
I take it. I've always, I like to mix it up every now and then. Pero soy de frijolitos con arroz y un asadito.
He basically said beans and rice.
Beans and rice. En salsita, just in case. En queso fresco.
Oh, man, you're getting me hungry. Sounds so good.
And he's trying to wake up the appetite. After we had a pound of meat that you just went to town with.
I did. I just had a pound of beef and some potatoes.
Nice.
On the way here, post gym session, post sauna,
metabolic right there.
So really quick, did you where did you inhale it? Like on the way over here, like driving, or?
No, I just I had about an hour before.
Okay. That's
before
good.
I came here.
So you didn't eat while driving.
Yeah, no, didn't eat while driving. I was actually in the parking lot at the gym.
Okay.
Just I had it ready. I feel like the biggest thing with fitness is just preparation. And part of fitness is the food that you're eating. So as long as you're prepared and you're eating the right things, then your body will thank you for it. So that's what I was just being prepared.
So as we go into prepare, let's first go into your life and where are you originally from, and how was your upbringing? How was life for you, growing up, and just any experiences you remember that are pretty memorable to you?
Yeah. So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised in Mandeville, Louisiana, which is a little town outside of New Orleans.
Okay.
My upbringing was, I really had, quite honestly, a picture perfect childhood. Like my parents were married from 12 and 13. Or they've been together since they were 12 and 13. They didn't get married at 12 and 13.
Oh, dang. I was like,
yeah,
wow,
they've been together.
That's Louisiana.
That is picture
yeah, okay. Oh, God, gosh. But, they just set such a good role model for me in my, youth and growing up. I have a brother He's 20, and then a sister. She's 2 years younger than me. I'm 29. So, just had great family life. Definitely some hardship and some things that you had to like overcome, like some heartbreak. When I was younger, my mom got colon cancer when I was in college, and I didn't really know what was going to happen there with that. So, there's quite a few things that I probably didn't touch on, but definitely some like hardship that went on there. But I did have like a good, loving family life my whole life. So from Louisiana, went to LSU, had a, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in international trade and finance. So a little bit different than the world that I'm in now, which is fitness. But that's a little bit about me and kind of like how I got to the place where I am today, which is sitting here talking to you. I did go through a experiment with some Navy SEALs, which I know that you guys know about this. I'm sure you're going to ask me some questions, but I did go through a little experience with some Navy SEALs on reality TV, which at the time I was working in corporate America, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. I was just kind of like working because I thought that was what I should be doing. Then whenever I got the opportunity to be on TV with the SEALs, I was like, I think I'm meant to do something like different here, So, shortly after that, I quit my job and came to Austin.
How long were you in the corporate world before you decided to go into the Navy SEALs reality TV?
It was about 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
4 to 5 years. So I got out of college at 21, started working in the oil and gas field in basically like insurance in Houston, Texas. And then I was there for about a year. And at the time, that's when my mom got diagnosed with colon cancer. And I was like, I'm basically just working and making money to pay for my apartment bill and then, live my life. But I don't like where I'm at or what I'm doing. So I decided to go home, live with the parents. Eventually, mom got over cancer. She's cancer-free. She's healthy.
Cool. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah, great. And she's a warrior, So through that, I started working for an engineering firm in Louisiana. But then I was living at home again, and I was just like, well, this isn't very fulfilling either. And it's just a path to, I don't know, not really anywhere that I wanted to go. And so, I'll just kind of go fast through this. I got a promotion at the job after 2 years, and it was like, you can either go to Green Bay, Wisconsin and have a sales position, or you can be a project manager here at the home office in Mandeville. And I was just like, both of those sound so bad, So I decided, screw it, I'm going to quit and just take what I know, go to Austin. I got a job in Austin, and then in the first 3 days of the job, I quit again because I knew that I wanted to be like in the fitness industry, and I had done like the Navy SEAL thing, like maybe a few years before. And so that just kind of like came back to me always. And I decided that I was going to pursue fitness and health and coaching. And that's what I've been doing for 5 years now.
So talk to me a little bit about your interest in fitness. It seems like that's like something that's a core to who you are now. Is that something that you had from the very beginnings of your upbringing, or is that something that you discovered later in life?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I played soccer my whole life and sports and stuff like that, but I was never really into the weightlifting thing until maybe like, 17, 18 is when I really kind of started getting after it. But I went through a bad breakup at my senior year of college. And so I was like, 20, 21. And I decided, all right, I can either, cry and sulk and just waste time, or I could be the best version of myself. And I know that working on fitness and the foods that I'm eating will help my mindset and my emotional health. And also a byproduct will be me looking better, which will lead to, me attracting some type of relationship into my life. That's with the mindset that started for me. So I built the consistency. And then when I was like 22 or 23, that's whenever I got the thing with the Navy SEALs. And so I went out to California. I was working with these SEALs and like even some super badass guys who were like, in the NFL or like professional Spartan race guys and stuff like that. And they were out there, and I'm like, dude, I'm just some corporate little nerd that likes to lift some weights, like, why am I here? And that experience changed my life and just kind of told me that, one, you can do anything you set your mind to, which my mind was not set on completing that Navy SEAL thing, I was like, why am I here? Why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah, dude. A few things popped in my head. So the first thing is you're mentioning of heartbreak. It's interesting that you mentioned heartbreak at a young, impressionable age of 21, 20 something. We all experience some type of heartbreak.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've heard of so many stories of people that have used that heartbreak to basically reshift, recalibrate themselves into something greater. And like the first one that pops to mind, I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had a similar upbringing or a similar story of heartbreak, and then finding fitness as an outlet to the next chapter in his life.
I've always said this to the clients that I work with, to people that are around me, but the strength is in the struggle. You know, like the more hardship that you go through, it's almost like a good metaphor for a hard workout in the gym. When you overcome, you know, that moment where you're like, oh my God, it's getting so hard. I don't know if I can do it. Okay, let me try to do 3 more, 4 more. And then you do it and you put it down and you're like, wow, I did that. It kind of just carries over into everyday life. So I got addicted to finding my strength in the struggle. And I think that just is a really cool saying. And so I've just kind of went with that. And yeah, I know that a lot of people, it's funny because I have this one client and I write these workouts for her, and they're hard. And I know that she can do it. And she always messages me and she's like, dude, who hurt you? That's what she always says to me. So
You were like, that's the exclusive. That's extra 50 right there.
yeah.
But like say, when it comes to the heartbreaks, like I remember when I was after college, I had a heartbreak too. And I've always played soccer. I've always stayed, you know, somehow active. But it's one thing that I had is just like, you know what? I'm already doing some pretty cool things. Like, why not just enhance it? Like, why not just get better at them? So the time I could be spending, you know, crying or sitting down at home. I mean, you always gotta have your time to mourn, but then you eventually gotta get out of that. But like you said, like you're right, the strength comes through struggle, and that for me, like I can apply that because I've gone through some shit too, and I feel like as much as I sometimes complain about what I went through, it's kind of like I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I went through that, because that helps me have a different mindset of like, okay, you can do this. You've been through worse. That's my every time I want to do something, I'm always like, whoop, you've been to worse. You know, you cross the border. What else? You know, what's the worst that can happen? And every story is different. Everyone's, you know, story, everybody gets motivated different ways. You know, it might not be training. It might not be trying to change the way you look, but it can just be writing a book, you know, learning, you know, becoming a musician or doing graphic design. But I think the main thing where I want to get is push yourself to where you become depending on yourself and you become stronger than yourself without having to worry about the other person. Because
great message.
Yeah, for me, whenever you say, for example, you go through a breakup, and if that person's not helping you do better, then it's not meant to be, you know.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of relationships fail because you are too dependent upon each other and you're not independent enough. I was asking this guy the other day, like, you know, what's some relationship advice? He's been married for a long time, and he says, you know, get along and do things together, but also be individuals and do things on your own and have your own life, your own friends, your own things. Obviously, you know, do things together and bond over like food and fitness and movement and things like that. But yeah, I think like just being curious and wanting to learn new things and always trying to like test yourself and just learn new things. It's funny because whenever I graduated college, I had multiple friends who were just like, nice, like we're done. We don't ever have to learn again. I'm like, yeah, man, life's just getting started.
Yeah,
you know?
And then it's all over again. They get hit by corporate walls or whatever challenges in their life, and they realize life is a never-ending journey of lessons and growth. Hopefully. Right. And on the subject of relationships, man, you know, like I've been married for not that long, maybe a year and a half, about to be 2 years in next March. But
congrats.
Thanks, man. One thing is like that I kind of try to keep the same mindset of fitness to relationships, because your fitness, you know, we work out every day. You stop working out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to suffer. You're going to see your results go away. And I think about relationships the same way, whether it be with your wife or your friends. You know, if you keep up that practice and you know, that work, because relationships at the end of the day are work.
Yes, definitely.
You're gonna see good results, but the moment you kind of start to step away or not pay as much attention, or you know, not communicate as well, that's when you start to see everything kind of suffer. So I kind of think about fitness and relationships almost in the same plane when it comes to discipline, consistency, and going through struggles.
Yeah, that's why I'm so connected to fitness, because it teaches you.
It's a good metaphor for life.
Everything in life. Yeah, business, relationships, like spiritual, like whatever it is, you can relate that to fitness. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So we kind of talked a little bit around it, but talk to us a little bit more. Help us connect the dots about your Navy SEAL experience, your Navy experience.
Yeah, so it was a reality TV series on the History Channel called The Selection, and I found an ad on Facebook, you know. And
thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, what's up, man? So basically, I applied, and I went through a pretty rigorous Skype interview process for about like 6 months, and I was in college at the time, my senior year. So I remember I graduated, and then I had some time off, and I didn't really know like what I was going to do, where I was going to go, what job I was going to get. And at the time, I was playing lots of World of Warcraft, and I was super good.
Wow.
Super good, okay? And so I kind of like laid back on my fitness a little bit. I just graduated college, and I hadn't heard back from this production company, so I just started playing a bunch of WoW. And I remember for 30 days, I like lived at my friend's house, and I just played WoW. Didn't work out or do anything. And then I get a call, and they're like, "Hey Ross, you got the part. We're gonna send you some boots, and you have 7 days to train, and then you're gonna come to California, and you're gonna be on the show." And I'm like, I haven't done anything for 30 days. It's been like a month of me just like chilling on the couch. So I get the boots, and I ran 1.5 miles for 6 days in a row in the boots. And like, that's all I did. So 1.5 miles a day for 6 days. And mind you, I'm about to go train with some fucking Navy SEALs. This isn't just like 1.5 miles little like, okay, you can go on the couch now. Yeah, man. So we get sent out to Santa Clarita, California. And, man, they brought us through like 5 days. 40 people were out there, and they brought us through 5 days of all these tests, these physical tests, IQ tests, aptitude tests, drug tests, steroid tests, like all these things. And 10 people got sent home, 10 people that they were like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do this. And then they had 30 of us go on the show. I think it was like midnight or 1 a.m. They were like, get your shit, we're going. And we couldn't leave the hotel this whole time. So we were there for like 5 days just doing tests, which I remember the physical tests was like max pull-ups, max push-ups, max sit-ups in a certain amount of time. And then there was a certain number that you had to do for each one. And all of them were pretty high. And then you had to do a 1.5 mile run in 10.5 minutes. And so I did the 1.5 mile run in exactly 10.5 minutes. And
that's what you know it's meant to be.
Dude, it was allergy inducing because it was so hard on my nervous system, and I wasn't used to that I had allergies for the next 3 days after that run. So I was just like suffering, being a little baby, but I'm just like, oh, like my eyes is killing me. And then they send us out to the desert at like 1 a.m, and they're like, go to the barracks, you're going to sleep, and then at 5 a.m. you have to wake up. So we had 4 hours of sleep. We're in the barracks, and we all have numbers. I was number 29, and you have to be like with a partner at all times. So me and number 30, little Jed, my man, he was like from a totally different country, and this is his first time in America, and like this is what he was doing. Yeah, it's crazy. Damn. Yeah, this dude's a beast. He's an Iron Man now, multiple.
They're like, welcome to the U.S.
Those little guys, man.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah, they're beasts, dude. Yeah. Short Kings out there. Shout out to my short Kings.
Chaparro.
Hey, man, it's all in the heart. It's all in the heart. Like, if there's a will, there you can find a way, man. And I'll say that. This guy was a beast. You'll have to see it on the show. But we woke up at like 5 a.m., stood at attention in the desert, in the sand, until 7 a.m., and those 2 hours were freezing cold.
Yeah.
And then at 7 a.m., it was like, all right, we're getting our ass kicked by these instructors. They walked up, and you could just feel like the seriousness and like just the seriousness in their demeanor. And yeah, in like the first 10 minutes, 2 people quit. They were just kicking our ass, like burpees, hill runs, hill sprints, picking up logs, pull-ups, whatever it was, bear crawls. And we just got our shit kicked in for hours and hours and hours. I remember they made us like fill these sandbags up, and we had to weigh the sandbag out to 40 pounds exactly. And we had 1 scale and 1 pair of duct tape. And it was physically impossible to get them all done in the time frame. It was like you get 2 minutes, and then every 2 minutes it was just like, oh, yeah, you're not done. Like, pour them out. Here, we're gonna do burpees. It was just, man, it was ridiculous. It was
that type of stuff is just meant to break you. Yes, that's the whole point of it, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna talk to my boss now that we know that you feel sand when we get busy.
Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything. You're like, this guy is a trained professional. He knows how to.
He knows how to exactly to the T.
But I just tell you all these things. I mean, I even got like tear gas out there like the first couple hours. But I tell you all these things because when I was out there experiencing this, obviously, when I was there, I was just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But I am talking about it 7 or 8 years later to this day. It stuck with me, and it will stick with me for the rest of my life because I just they kept saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, you're stronger than you think you are. Like, there's just so many lessons that I took away from that. And since I had that experience, I wanted to, and since I've changed my life and my mindset and my reality through my habits and my fitness and my routine, I've wanted to just share that with other people.
That's good.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
good. From the training, what was something you recall that was easier for you, and what was the hardest thing for you?
Yeah, the hardest thing was the mindset. I mean, when people are yelling in your face and just telling you that you're not good enough, sometimes those feelings of doubt and imposter syndrome creep in. And then that's when you have to be strong enough to shut that out and be your own person and say, I can do this, So that was probably one of the hardest things for me. It was just I didn't have a reason why I was doing these things yet. I have a good reason why now, which is I want to be like a fit, healthy dad for my future family and for, the people around me, just so that I'm exuding or I'm inspiring the people around me. But the easiest thing, man, I just have this, I don't know if this was like an easy or hard thing, but I just remember this one memory, and I think it's cool to share. It was like the second morning, we had just done like 3 hours of working out. Like the second we got woken up, actually, an instructor flipped my cot, and that's how I woke up in midair. I just woke up in midair.
It's like
literally
the record scratch. You might be wondering how I got here.
Yeah, and my head hit the floor, dude. I woke up literally like hitting the floor, and they were playing these sirens and shit, and crying baby noises and all. It was brutal. But that happened. We went through like 3 hours of this freezing cold working out, and then there was a girl that was there. Her name was Danielle, and I couldn't take my boots off. Like, I couldn't move my hands or my arms because they were so cold. And she started warming me up, and she just basically said that, like, you can do anything. And, like, I just will never forget how she was feeling the exact same way as me. And she just basically gave me this, like, message of hope, So, man, there's so many cool things that happened. That wasn't really, like, an easy or hard. The hardest thing was the tear gas, probably, so.
Dude, that reminds me so much about I've read David Goggins' book. I forget. I think it's called Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Incredible book. He's a former Navy SEAL, and he talks about his training, and he talks about what you mentioned, finding your why. If you don't have a why, you're not going to be able to perform or achieve those crazy meant to break you challenges and obstacles in life. You're going to give up.
For sure.
So that's one thing he mentioned on there too. And another thing that reminds me of what you said is like, during those times where there's like no hope, what helped him push through things, especially during moments like where you're with partners, it's just that camaraderie.
Yeah.
That support system within you, and changing that mindset and like actually trying to enjoy torture, trying to like just have fun, smile together, sing together.
Yeah.
Great stuff, man. That's crazy.
There's another memory where people were on the beach, and it was again freezing fucking cold, and it had been like all night going into the morning. And this one guy, Christian, was like, "Do you feel the sun? You guys feel the sun? It's warming us up. We're warm. Like, we're warm. We are." And it was just like everyone's shivering, and he's like, "No, like, you're warm." And you're just telling people. So that's kind of where my mind went to when you said, like, what was the easiest thing? I just immediately thought of the person next to me.
That's good.
Like, the person next to me made it easier. I remember I was walking up this mountain with a log, holding it in my arms, and there's this girl, Shelby, next to me, and she's just like literally crying. And I'm just like, "We can do this." And then she's like, "Yeah, we can. Like, we can." And I just, man, so many times, I'll never forget these things ever. So
yeah, the craziest thing is that y'all all signed up for that, right?
Yeah,
we did.
It was made a voluntary decision to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and then
Yeah.
it's that, and then the fact that like you don't know what to expect afterwards, which is something that like,
everything was unknown. I mean, this is such unknown territory, even from like, I mean, this is Hollywood, man. Basically, we were getting these interviews and like all these just the way that it was like treated before. It was like, whoa, this is super pro. And then once we got there, it was like, wow, this is deadly. Like, this is so fucking serious. This is insane. And then when you get off the show, it was just like, they were the coolest people ever. I actually met one of the instructors here in Austin. I saw him at this conference, and I tapped on the shoulder, and I was like, "Dude, is this who you are?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I was on that show, man."
Nice.
And we just bonded instantly. Super cool. Super cool guy.
I sometimes whenever like I'm just looking at videos, I always look at the training videos of the military and how they say, maybe I could be wrong, but at first they want to break your character so you can be transformed, and then they want to mold you to like say the soldier you're going to be. So at first, the first 3 weeks are the toughest ones, but then they become more of mentorship after that.
That's exactly how this was. Unfortunately, I quit before making it I did not make it through this entire I think it was like 12 days long. I made it like 4 days basically, and then I just like bitched out. But like on like the 5th or 6th day, it stopped being Hell Week, and it started being, let us teach you how to fight, how to shoot, how to build, hide yourself, how to do all these cool things. And I didn't get to that point. I saw it on the show, and I heard from, the people that I was with. We still talk to this day. But, it definitely, you have to, like, restructure the mindset, and that takes some hard work. And then you can start to learn and implement new things, which that's the same thing with fitness and like, weight loss or building muscle or whatever it is. You do have to like change some habits and form a new you. And that's going to take doing some new things, but ultimately it's for the betterment of you, and it's a positive thing, right?
If you don't mind let us know, like, what made you step away from
I was just about to ask him the same question.
Yeah. I think it was just fear, man. Like, I was young and I didn't have a reason why. They actually made us write down, I think it was the very first night after 12 or 16 hours of getting tortured, basically. They made us write a letter to I guess our favorite person, or like we just had to write a letter to somebody. And I wrote to my brother, and I was just like, I'm doing this for you. Like, I'm out here trying to be a good role model for you and teach you that you can do anything that you set your mind to. But unfortunately, they got to me. They definitely got to me. And I just, in the moment, crumbled. And I know that, like, after watching it, I'm like, I feel like I could do that, but it's all talk. Like, you got to get in the moment, like the cold is a total beast in and of itself. And then when you're just absolutely sleep deprived, you're super hungry, you're being tortured, just mentally, and words are being abusive to you, and then they put people in like boxes and nailed it shut, and like playing crazy sounds for hours. You have goggles on your face, and like, dude, it was straight torture, like prisoner of war stuff. I mean, it was absolutely fucking insane. So there's just a point of like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. I mean, and kudos to you for sharing and for going through that stuff. I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself through that experience. But one thing, I mean, it's really important that we talk about not only our wins but also our failures, because I think our failures are as important as our wins, because that's when we that's when we get one step closer to where we need to be.
That's how you grow, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
You have to fail. Like in the gym, if you want to grow muscle, you gotta get to failure.
Right. Push the failure.
You know?
Like say, like talking about, like, you know, the aspect of you know, when you quit, what was going through your mind, let's say a couple of weeks after that? Like, what was your thought process? Like, okay, what's next? Because you already obviously went through this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you felt like, you know, like shit for quitting, but then at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do to get something out of this?
Yeah. No, I definitely did get a lot out of it. And the instructors, whenever I did quit, they were like, man, you're so strong. Like, you're a beast. They were so nice. And, you know, it was very humbling to hear them say those types of things. But, yeah, for a while, I was a little down, you know, and I actually started, like, torturing myself in my workouts, just doing things for longer durations or to more extremes, because that's the mindset that they instilled. Like, dude, you're not even close to tired. Like, you're not even close to tired. Get up. Like, you can do so much more. I remember at one point they made us do 1,000 sit-ups in a row without stopping. Like, dude, do 40 sit-ups and tell me if your abs hurt. Yeah. You know, 1,000, man.
It hurts just thinking about it.
People still have scars on their back to this day from that moment. And, like, I don't know. I think I just, like, it made me have a total different mindset, because I experienced these humans that had, like, just an unbeatable mindset. Like, you could not deny that person, and I just wanted to be undeniable, basically. Like, such a good personality, you know, so good with their fitness, they're just who they are, that it's like, yeah, like, this person's great.
And one thing, like, what I say, for example, what I'm looking at is, I've seen you train, I've seen your content as well in social media, but I've seen you personally, and I've never seen someone do pretty much a pull up and then was it a pullover?
The muscle up.
A muscle up, like, do it like de volada. No, what the hell? But then, like, now I'm trying to get to, like, say you don't, like, you still do conventional training, you still do your stuff, but then you do something a little extra that, you know, that I'm thinking, like, maybe this is what helped you, like, okay, to somehow make it more or different and enhance, you know, like, not an advance, not saying like, oh, you can't really, you know, it's one of those that you push yourself to, okay, I want to do the unthinkable. That's where I want to get to.
Yeah. I think that's what I was trying to do for a while with, like, the muscle ups, and I would do pistol squats and stuff. I would just try to do, like, some fancy different stuff, but that's challenging. It's hard. Bodyweight fitness is a great way to test yourself, and I think, you know, anything that's hard just builds character, and that's what I've been trying to do, is, like, challenge myself to do hard things, because on the other side of that is just growth. You know, you learn and you grow. You fail, you learn, you grow. Boom.
And when it came to like, after the Navy SEALs part and then training on your own, who was your influence, or what did you first start? Okay, this is what I'm going to try to focus on first, and then I'm going to move into this other type of training.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if I had that much deep thought into it. I think I'm just kind of like a doer, you know, at least for me. And my journey, I've just kind of done trial by error. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just going to, like, show up, try to move around, get some stuff going, see how it feels, and keep going. That's definitely taught me a lot of things and cost me some injuries, and, like, taken me a lot of time to figure things out. You know, just, like, watching videos and, like, asking others and working out with different people. But, yeah, I mean, the best advice now that I'm in my seat now is, like, find that mentor that you can know, like, and trust, and that you want to be like, or that person that already has what you want, and then learn from them, because it's going to be so much faster if you can, like, have somebody that educates you. If they already know the way, it's going to be just much more efficient in getting to where you want to be. That's
good. One other question that I have is, so you're pretty much multifaceted, trained, you know, type of person that when it comes up to training, you don't just stick to one particular, you know, bodybuilding or CrossFit. Like, you like to try it all. And that's good, because some people like to mix it. Some people, you know, want to do yoga one day, want to do pistol squat training for a month. And it doesn't make you mediocre. It just makes you a person that that wants to experience. At the end of the day, like for me, when it comes to the training and fitness, it's also an experience.
Right.
And it's not just, and it's a journey. It's not just, I'm just going to, pump weights and lift weights. Like say if you're trying to get to a max rep benching, you go through a process. Like you don't just do 350 pounds in one sitting and then you bust your ass. Like you first start with like use the bar and then increase plates.
Yeah, I think you need to make physical activity fun as well. So like, and plus it's all relative to the person's goal. Mm-hmm. Like some people might have a goal to build a muscle or to do like a performance thing, like run a marathon. And then the way that you get there, there's no one size fits all. So you could do like so many different things. I think the biggest message is just being consistent, like just showing up, being consistent. We were actually talking about that right before this podcast. So it's just like the more consistent that you are and just the number of days that you show up, it doesn't always have to be like super intense run or like a max bench press or something like that. It's just more about finding the thing that you enjoy, that you can see yourself doing consistently. And then the same thing goes with the food, because everyone struggles with the food. They're like, oh, I don't know what to eat, especially for the goal that I have. Like that's the most confusing part. It's like, just find some things that you enjoy to eat where you're like, I could see myself cooking this like every day or, every week. And then you just kind of reverse engineer. Like that's the way that I've found to get to the goal easier is identify the goal and then reverse engineer.
Yeah. Now that we're touching on consistency and habit building, that's one thing that I feel that most people struggle with when it comes to their fitness journey and their health. I'm a person who I found my formula. I'm a morning workout type of guy. I have to go before work, and that just makes my day the best it could possibly be in terms of performance. And I still have that time after work to play soccer. So those are my two things. I want to work out in the morning, do my thing during the day, and play soccer at night. So, and then I basically do that 4 to 5 times out of the week. So it's one of the things that people ask me is like, how do you continuously wake up so early? Like I wake up at 4 for the most part every day during the week. But what I found in terms of habit building is just like preparation. You touched on it, making it like almost like you don't have a choice to do it. So I set up my gym bag, I throw my clothes in there, exactly what I'm going to wear, like cut out those decisions. And, my alarm goes off and I don't like snooze. Nope. You have to get right up.
You're making a mindless routine, basically.
Yes, make a mindless routine. I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat. It's already all out there for me to just grab and go.
And that's why you're fit. And you enjoy what you're doing.
I enjoy when I do that. And the moment that the routine, for whatever reason, like travel or something comes up or, we have visitors or family over, like when that routine kind of deviates, I kind of suffer a little bit inside. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, I'm not hitting it like I'm usually doing it. Yeah. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you formed habits and what you kind of recommend to the people that you work with on how to build good habits? Yeah.
Well, I think touching on how to build the habits, like start small. Start small. Everyone, they look at fitness as this big thing like, oh, shoot, I have to meal prep and I have to go to the gym for all these hours and I have to, wake up early. Well, really, you just need to start with a few small things. And I think the first thing is like focusing on the quality of sleep that you get, trying to de-stress yourself in, ways, shapes, or forms that are just like make you feel happy, whether that's like journaling, breath work, whatever, going for daily walks, and then trying to home cook your meals if you can. Try to control just the ingredients that are going in. Even if it's not the healthiest thing, like, still cook from home, build that habit, and then you can build upon those things. So like once you're getting good rest, going for walks, cooking at home, that's when you can slowly start to add in the working out, a couple times a week, or maybe changing that walk into a run once or twice a week. You know what I'm saying? So you just build upon the consistency. And once you have those routines in place, like for me, I have dogs, so I kind of have to go for walks every day.
They kind of help you.
Yeah, it makes me, So I do that twice a day, and now it's just another mindless thing where it's like the dogs need to be walked. I'm going to go for a walk, and you feel so much better in your mind once you're moving your body. I feel like that's just a guarantee.
Dude, walks are incredible, man.
It's the hack to life.
I love going on a good walk, and I'm fortunate enough to work on job sites that are downtown. So like first thing in the morning, I get my oatmeal in and I go on a walk. That sun is kind of at that low horizon, and it's just perfect. And then
so good.
At the end of the day, I do the same thing. Like my day's about to wrap up. I go on another walk. Not long, 10 to 15 minutes. And I feel so much better. And the days I don't get my walk, I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Something ain't right. I've been looking at the screen all day. I've been in this fluorescent lighting all day, and it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, so whenever you're in your routine is when you feel the best.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
Exactly. And I find that a lot of the people that are struggling, they just don't have a routine in place. Yeah. Even if it's just a simple routine of like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to write down what I'm going to do that day. And like just doing that to start, just building some type of routine, even if it's you wake up and you look at your emails, which I don't recommend, take some time to you first, but just saying, if you can build the consistency in what you're doing each day, that will eventually get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm good with my routine. Now I can add in one or two little things,
Creatures of habit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Outside of training, what is something that you like to do, as your me time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I know this is kind of like a little of a lame answer, but I definitely love to spend time with my fiance and my dogs, to like watch a good movie, eat some good food. We love to bond over like a good movie and some food. That's something that I love to do. But I know this sounds maybe lame too, man.
Hey, man, I got one, so no, you're good.
But like going and sitting in the sauna and just having some great conversation with some random people.
Yeah, dude.
I love that.
There's nothing lame about anything you just said.
Yeah.
And of course, like relationships and family are huge. They're our network. They're our support. They're kind of what drives us and keeps us going, right? But dude, so like we were talking about it earlier today, like sauna. Talk to us about the importance of moments in the sauna for you and how you incorporate that into your routine.
Well, it's really cool because you're sitting in a hot box, usually with a random set of people.
Yeah.
And it's like the veil of life is lifted because you're sitting there like in your underwear with your shirt off.
Yeah.
So that's already more vulnerable,
Yep.
And then you start having these conversations where it's just like you're just open and real with people, and you have like the most random things. You could be talking about something that's like so not important at all. It's totally random, aliens, whatever it is, and you're just having like this cool convo. And at the same time, your heart is pumping. So you're working your cardio. Like if I sit in the sauna for 20 minutes at a time, I'll get up to like 150 beats per minute on my heart. It's like I'm going for a jog, but I'm also sweating, which is super great for just, rejuvenating sweat. There's so many benefits to the sauna. I really feel like even though, yes, I'm spending lots of hours sitting there, it's great for, my mental health. I love to sit there and just breathe and really think about, just like what I got going on, but then also the conversations and the people. So
that's I've never thought about like, I always thought sauna was be something good after working out, but I never thought of sauna as a way to also conversate with people.
That's like the biggest thing, actually. I mean, I'm part of a great community on the east side of Austin, Texas, Squatch Frontier Fitness. It's just such a great gym, 24/7 access.
Shout out Squatch.
Yeah, they're a great gym. I love them so much. And it's just the people that makes it really cool.
That's good, yeah. Dude, it's funny you talk about sauna combos because I finally embraced the sauna combo today. Usually I go in the sauna and I'm like, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want people to talk. And at the times I've been going, the people that are there, they've just been having some conversations, sometimes really lively. And I'm like, man, dude, they're messing with like my moment of zen. But today I finally embraced someone in conversation, and we actually touched on
and they were having their moment of zen to interrupt it.
Nah, dude. I don't know. Have you guys heard about the blue zones in the world?
I have.
Yeah.
So
I have.
like these places in the world where it has the highest rate of population that lives past 80,
right?
Past 90. Like places like Japan. I think Okinawa is a place that. And how do people, there's been studies done on how people achieve longevity for so long, because it's very different. Like you don't see that here in the U.S. You see that in places like Japan and maybe some little towns in Italy. But one thing that we talked about is kind of like this low intensity workout. Like the cardio where it's like your heart rate is elevated just a bit, but you can still have a conversation.
Yeah.
So activities like walking or gardening,
it's called zone 2.
Zone 2, exactly. Yeah. So man, it's just something that just came up in the sauna, dude, and we're just chilling there and connecting about, you know, fitness and health and stuff. And I mean, it's the first time that I embraced it, but it's cool to hear you say that that's actually the place where you do the same, you know, on the regular.
Definitely moments where there's like 4 shirtless bros with towels over their heads, and everyone is quiet and they're just like just breathing really deep, you know.
That was me.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I like to do that too. I definitely like to do that too. But to your point of longevity, I think over, and maybe this is just like some random thing that I believe in, but I think over diet and lifestyle, which is, you know, definitely big factors to longevity. I think having a purpose is the biggest thing.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Right. So where I first discovered these blue zones was on a book called Ikigai. It's like this Japanese concept of purpose, passion, vocation. Like it's basically like a Venn diagram, but like times 6, and it kind of matches all these things. And in the middle is your Ikigai, which is essentially your purpose. And what they found in all these blue zones is that people that have lived to be that old usually have a purpose. They're always finding use and finding meaning in their life. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
And I feel, I mean, in a modern era, when you find a purpose, you also stay out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
that's because you already know. Like,
unless your purpose is bad shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
here's some Scarface.
There are some bad out there.
Yeah, but that's one thing I was told. I was told, like, just my nephew, like, hey, do everything with purpose, stay as busy as possible, because that way doesn't help you, you know, be tired of, you know, the bullshit.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though, Richie. Especially at that young age.
Yeah.
You know, so many things are changing in your mindset and your body. You're, like, growing so quickly, and you don't know how to handle all these new emotions. So, like, the more purpose you give to that, the better. Like, usually good purposes, right?
Right.
Because kids will do one thing or the other. They're either going to act out or they're going to do something that is, like, constructive.
Right. Like, follow your sport and, play it really hard and be consistent with that and, like, not get into bad things or, yeah.
What is, like, at the current moment, what's your, like, short-term goal and what's your long-term goal?
Yeah, great question. Short-term goal, I have been dealing with some nagging little injuries in my body. So short-term goal would be just to, you know, overcome and get to in a place of just really feeling confident in my fitness. I feel good, you know, I can do a lot of great things, but I just want to get into a place where I feel like I've been in the past. So that's a short-term goal. Long-term goal, you know, long-term goal is to have just a super healthy family, you know, healthy kids, healthy wife, healthy relationship. But, you know, like, I guess like medium, moderate goal would be to have, you know, 40 to 50 clients that I'm working with online. That's the goal for the business wise. I've got about 25 right now.
You're halfway there.
Halfway there.
Yeah.
Halfway there. So my fiance Savannah and I, she's the nutrition coach, and I'm the you know, fitness and nutrition coach. So we're working hand in hand together, and we've got about 25 together. But yeah, I want to get that to like 50. So that's the goal.
So if you're eating wrong, Savannah's like, "Ole, Ross."
Yeah. No, she actually just announced last night, shout out to her, love her, that she's going to do her first bodybuilding show.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she's about to become more shredded and jacked than me. Hey. And I'm going to be jealous. But no, she's very on her game, man. It's super impressive to see somebody so dedicated and so consistent. And that's one of those things where it's like, if you have a reason why and you have something that you believe that you can achieve, then you will. It's just a matter of time. And you got to put in the work, and, you know, but.
Dude, Savannah, man, killing it out there. Well, best of luck to her. And it's cool to hear that y'all work together kind of in the fitness industry. Was that something that y'all both had separately or discovered together and kind of built something greater? Yeah,
you know, actually, she started as my roommate, so she moved in to my house with my buddy Marcel, and it was during COVID, and I think she was trying to go to be a nurse and go into nursing, and she kind of saw what we were doing with personal training, and I also do a little bit of work in the elderly homes and like some senior homes where I do group fitness with seniors. So she saw like what we were doing and making an impact, and she loved it. She started working out, and I think, one thing led to another. People started asking her like, oh, you've been, crushing it. Like, how are you doing this? She just started kind of getting into coaching organically. She hired her own coach. So she learned a lot in that process. And then it just kind of happened to where it was like, we got engaged. Different couples were hitting us up and asking us questions. So it just kind of organically happened. And she has like her approach. I have mine, but it works because it's, again, like, your approach to somebody new, it's not one size fits all. Like, you got to figure out what this person does, how they act, what their lifestyle is, what's realistic to them. So like her perspective and my perspective, it just complements each other, and it's been working well. I think that, it's always a constant battle trying to find new people who are in the right mindset for being coachable and being open-minded for those things, because a lot of people say they want it, but they really don't. You know what I mean? They just like, I care more than they do. So that's something that I've been struggling with. But at the same time, I know that like just putting the good message out there of like what we're doing will attract the right people. And so, you don't have to help everyone in the world. I wish that I could. I really do. Like, I want everyone to feel the feeling that I have in terms of just like self-confidence, self-empowerment. And that's done through, like the same things that, we're all doing, just like working on our fitness, working on the food. It's really like the things you put in your body is what you're going to get out of it. And not even just like performance in the gym, but like the food is the way that you can reach mental clarity and, feel good about yourself. The more trash you put in your body, the more lethargic and like nasty you feel, but the more clean quality, diesel fuel that you put in this bad boy right here, we're gonna be feeling good.
That's good, man. That's good.
Dude, I love that, man. I was just like thinking about, I'm reading about food, and it's like you can finish an entire bag of potato chips. Like, no, keep going, because it's got like zero nutritional value.
No, it's satiating.
You're just never gonna feel full, but you can't finish a bag of celery. Your body's gonna tell you, all right, you've had enough, bro.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between good food and bad food.
Right.
And that's why it's so easy to eat shit.
Yeah. That's why I went from chips to popcorn, man.
Change it up, man.
Change it up. Yeah. That's what, like, say for example, we can. I do want to go into the guilty pleasures too.
Yeah.
Like personal, and then like say, what is a guilty pleasure for you when it comes to food?
To food, my favorite thing is probably. I love desserts. I definitely indulge. Yeah, I definitely indulge. We eat dessert most nights, but we figured out ways that are healthified and like gut friendly. Like protein brownies, protein cookies, those types of things. So protein pancakes, whatever. Make those a lot. But guilty pleasure, I love cookies. Like I just love like a good fresh baked cookie.
What's like fresh chocolate chips?
Yeah, like chocolate chip, white chocolate macadamia nut.
Oh yeah.
Brownies and ice cream.
Dude, I'm big on cookies. My guilty pleasure is Oreos.
Oh gosh,
I can crush hard on. I can crush a pack of Oreos.
One of my good friends. I lived with him last year. Braden, shout out to him. Man, all the time I would come home and he's sitting on the couch and he's looking. He's like, yeah, just don't pay attention, man. And he's like a whole thing of Oreos in. I'm like, Bray, what are you doing, dude? He's like, look, man, like I worked hard today. It's been a long day. I think
all the little things we say to justify the bad shit that we're doing.
It's always a constant. It's a constant battle in the mind of who is in control.
Right.
Like who's actually in control. But also, one, I do think that like satisfying your cravings is important to do. Being flexible is definitely the way to live. You shouldn't be like restrictive and rigid and feeling like, oh, I can't do this, because that's like, we're here to live and have good experiences and not just like restrict ourselves. That's unhealthy to do. But
definitely,
I think desserts are okay.
One thing that I've done to kind of figure out my Oreo cravings is like I make it really hard for me to get Oreos. I put it like not on the top shelf.
Hide it.
I put it on top of like the fucking kitchen cabinets. I have to like literally get on the counter to grab them, and I do that so like I could really think like, do I really want an Oreo? Do I really need this Oreo?
Yeah, I'm gonna break my back in this thing. Like,
I switched it up. So I like eating chips, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of got tired of them. But I like eating the Simply popcorn with the flaming hot Cheetos flavor. That shit is the bomb.
Those are good.
And then I buy it the thing is, like, I can eat that whole bag in just one sitting. It's just popcorn.
Yeah, easily.
And it's so good. But
it's simply popcorn.
Yeah,
like,
no there we go. It's like no calories. But I just switched it up, like buy it every, like 2 bags once a month, about give or take, maybe twice a month. And then, but what I also did is every time because I'm on the road quite a bit because I'm go visit my family. I buy the pistachio bags, but like the no-shell pistachio, like that shit is $5. I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna get a snack, it has to be something that it's not a potato chip, but it still has that spicy flavor. But it's I'm gonna feel it in my pocket.
Yeah,
and that's what helps out because like you're still snacking, but you have to manage it till you don't eat it all because you won't have enough. So I've been pretty good at
manage the rations.
There we go, the rations. So I've been changing it up here and there, and I've seen some difference.
Spicy.
I love spicy. Man. Especially it's like anything spicy.
Pistachios are fucking fire.
Really, yeah. Savannah, like even black pepper on her eggs is like, oh my god, it's so spicy. So she's like corrupted me to like we don't eat spicy food in our house. Dude, and I'm from Louisiana. Yeah, so like crawfish.
That's a struggle. That's a struggle, man.
Yeah, it's one that's something I can live without. I can live without the spice.
Without the spice.
Yeah,
you gotta
like
protect
jalapenos and the guac. Like no.
Because Savannah's are spice.
That's it. There you go.
Ross, one thing that now that we're on the subject of guilty pleasures, food, drinks, I feel like our culture, especially like our young culture, is like very. It's like alcohol for the most part has a chokehold over our culture. Like it's impossible because I've tried it to socialize with your friends without the presence of alcohol and like, all right, you're just gonna have a beer. The beer becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 4, 5, 6. Everybody has their how much they consume, right? But when it comes to fitness, when it comes to trying to see results, what are some of the things that you have discovered or things that you know about alcohol consumption and fitness?
Great question. Well, I know that it can definitely kill some motivation. Sometimes if you're hungover, like you're not really feeling motivated to go to the gym. So that's one negative aspect. 2 is that it can dehydrate you. So, hydrating yourself and feeling like you do have enough water in your system and you're drinking enough water throughout the day is very important to performance and energy and not getting migraines and these things. So being hydrated is just an essential thing that us humans should be doing. Having access to clean water is honestly a privilege. So like Absolutely. Being able to hydrate yourself with quality water is super important. I've never really been connected to like drinking. It's not that I hate on drinking at all because I like fitness. I do maybe have some red wine, or like if I'm gonna try to have a little fun, maybe like a shot of tequila or something that's not like too sugary in terms of like sodas and the open-ended calories and the sugars. So there's nothing negative for me to say about alcohol, but it will definitely hinder your fitness if you're drinking sugary things that are going to lead to feeling more lethargic. And also, anytime that I've drank alcohol, even if it's like a glass of wine, it does elevate my heart rate, which then hinders my sleep. And I've noticed that my HRV, which is my heart's response to stress, is definitely impacted by alcohol.
Yeah, dude, it's great that you mentioned that because I don't think people tie quality of sleep with alcohol consumption too much.
I'm drunk and I pass out.
Yeah, I pass out. People I have family that struggle getting sleep and their way to kind of get that sleep, they're like, well, I just have a few drinks before bed and it helps me knock out. But but like you said, it does hinder the quality of your sleep, and sleep being so important to health. Like
I think if you're in a routine of where like you're drinking before you go to sleep, your body, you adapt and you build tolerance. So then it becomes like a routine and it becomes part of, you normalize these things. But in reality, it's not fucking normal, dude. That's not normal. It's like, true. Just like, don't do that. You know, I don't know what else to say.
Now, yeah, I mean, there's one person that kind of like motivated me to, slow down on the drinking. Now, I've never had a problem with drinking, but say 7 years ago, I would like to, have a drink every day. But then as time went, like, let me just have one. And now, like, say, I do like to have fun, but it's also moderate, just because for me, sometimes I have to edit, I have to wake up early or do this and that. So I'm like, man. But whenever I get the time to, lay down in los crías del norte, let's do it.
Amen.
So Coca is the one that actually he mentioned he slowed down on like the drinking part, and I have too. I slowed down on it mainly just because I did it on purpose. Like, you know what, I'm gonna get so fucked up this night, so that I can feel so bad and think about it the next time I do it.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I went to the concert of Los Tigres del Norte. It was like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
For New Year, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't have anything going on. I'm gonna go to my in-laws. They already know who I am.
You can embarrass yourself a little bit.
So I'm just gonna get like, I left the concert and that was good. But when I got home, I'm like, I'm off tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up late. Man, I just started like, I got a tequila and I just, I went to sleep at 4 a.m.
Oh my
My wife comes in and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, everything hurts.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink again. And then we go to her, and then I'm helping her to do things. But actually, like, she was like, okay, you're going to be useful tomorrow. And I'm like, it's going to take me like 3 times, but I'm going to be okay. And every time I have to do something, I'll be like this. Like, I will help myself down to reach on something, but I'll be like, okay, let me put this together.
Yeah.
Shit, Richie, I didn't know that you took cues from me on the drinking stuff, man. I think we still have fun. And,
yeah.
And
we gotta have fun, yeah.
And I come from it from a very like non-judgmental zone. Like I know people that drink. I'm really good friends with people that drink a lot, and it's cool, man. Like everybody is finding their way in their own life, right? But the person who motivated me was my little brother. He kind of cut that out for the sake of fitness, and he put me on some podcasts and some like other things that kind of talk about it. But on the subject of drink and sleep, talk to us about your sleep. Like how do you sleep? What do you find?
Yeah. You're saying like how do I wind down?
Like say whenever your favorite position, like facing down.
Yeah.
Well, like the importance of sleep to you. What are things that you find are beneficial from getting a good night's rest?
Well, Ricardo over here put some things in my mind. I have an adjustable base. So I have like this bed that basically you can adjust the legs or the head.
Oh, yeah.
So I can elevate my feet a little bit, and then I put a pillow underneath my knees, and that has been an amazing way for me to like just stay on my back and not switch to my sides too much. So I try to sleep on my back. That's one thing. But yeah, I feel like physically exhausting myself and sitting in the sauna in the evenings have been 2 key things for me getting better sleep. Also, not staring. Like, yes, I will watch TV before bed, like fall asleep to something, but not staring and scrolling where your eyes are like really fixating and like, interpreting things. It's more of just like mindlessly watching something. But if you want to get really good about getting good sleep, these are some great tips. Don't eat 3 to 4 hours before bed, because whenever your body is processing food, your core temperature is raised. And whenever your core temperature is raised, you have a harder time getting into that deep sleep state. You want to be cool. That's why like setting your AC down, getting blackout curtains. I have a red light in my lamp next to my my bedside table. So having just like red light, basically making your circadian rhythm be like, it's sleep time, like the sun is down, staying away from the screen. Those things, like the food and the screen time, are 2 key things. Now, if you need help going to sleep, like maybe some CBD or something like that, I've tested with that before, and that's been great for me.
That's cool, man. Like, so that those are really great tips, and I think some of those things are maybe people have heard of before, but maybe people are going to take a lot of use of that. But so on the opposite side of that coin, you got sleep, and now waking up, like getting yourself pumped for that workout. A lot of people, and you see it all the time, you know, that pre-workout game is strong. You know, they have different supplements, different things. And we all know caffeine is like the most widely consumed drug in the world. Like people use caffeine everywhere, like coffee, whatever. People find their way to caffeinate their bodies. How have you found effective ways of pumping yourself up for a workout or helping you find that energy to boost your fitness regimen?
Yeah, great question. Well, one, I think that caffeine is a great thing around fitness. I love caffeine around fitness. Yes. You know, I'll drink like black coffee or espresso. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of honey for some carbs and sugars whenever I'm like about to be sweating or depleting myself. And if I'm going to do some type of food, it might be like a banana with honey, just something small. I usually like to work out fasted, actually, just with like some caffeine. But I did hear from Andrew Huberman, his podcast, Huberman Lab, that if you experience a crash at like 2 or 3 p.m. in your day, it's probably because you're consuming caffeine too soon when you wake up. And he was saying, give it like 90 to 120 minutes, like in an hour and a half, 2 hours before you consume caffeine, and then you won't have that afternoon crash.
Yeah, dude, it's so counterintuitive because like I think the routine that a lot of us have is like having that cup of coffee
immediately.
Like, I just woke up. Don't talk to me. I need my coffee. I need my coffee.
That's
don't talk
how
to me.
Savannah is. Yeah.
Nah, dude. That's cool that you mentioned Huberman. Man, I love his podcast. I'm a huge fan.
But to get like psyched up though, to answer that aspect of the question, people have always asked me like, where do you get the motivation? And I don't know if this is just like a stupid answer, but for me, it's like when I challenge myself and I show up for myself, I make progress and I see myself get better. It's like, that's all the freaking motivation I need, man. Like I am getting better. I'm bettering myself. So like, I want to wake up and get this done, you know, plus it just, you feel savage. You know, like you feel savage, like just like doing things that other people don't want to do, which waking up at 4 a.m., like you're a savage, you know, like people don't want to do that and you're doing it. So already you're mentally winning. Like you already have been winning. Even if you don't like set a PR or do anything crazy in the gym, you're still there, dude. And of course there's other humans that are there as well, but like you're all savage. There you go. You're in the 1%.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love it.
Goddamn, Cookie.
Yeah, there you go, baby. Let's go.
Savage. I'm a savage out here. Play some Megan Thee Stallion real quick. What's it called? Yeah, dude, it's crazy. One time my wife, for whatever reason, woke up at the same time I did. And she was like talking to me, and I was so excited because you know usually it's like super quiet. Yeah. And she's like, "I've never seen you with so much energy in the entire day." I'm like, "Well, this is like my peak. Yeah, like 4 to 5 to 6. That's like my peak, like in terms of energy." But
you're so creative too, probably, right? Like your mind is just like going.
Productivity, you know, performance, creativity, like all that stuff for me. I'm a morning dude, but everyone is kind of structured so differently, man. And I just found the formula that works for me. So like, it's not. There's no right or wrong way, right? So, dude, talk to us a little bit about your business, man. Like we've kind of touched on it right now, and you said you had 25 clients. Your goal is to work towards 50, and I know you're gonna surpass that, dude.
Oh, thank you.
But well, first of all, what is your the name of your business?
It's Total Transformation Protocols, and basically the transformation protocols, and what that is are these 5 things that I believe, you know, they are the protocols to transforming your life. Sunshine, sleep, water, food, and exercise. Sunshine, sleep, water, food, exercise.
So I got sunshine for sure in the summer. I play soccer without my shirt.
There you go.
Sleep. It's in a work. It's always gonna be a work in progress.
Yep.
But the rest, I think we got.
Yeah.
Sleep is the one that might fail you.
Yeah.
And
that's honestly the most important part too.
Okay.
Yeah. It really is.
In the eating the part.
Food, the too many tacos.
You know that's the one thing. Like I've actually so I've changed the way I eat too. I try to eat as much as I can from home. I don't really eat fast food, maybe once a week. But that's just because I feel like the one time, and this is honest, like I did a Murph, and after that we went to Pluckers, and I just felt like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just felt like god damn. But I used to get like 15 wings with my tot and spicy ranch and 2 beers. But after that, it became with 10 wings. I eat 5 there, and the rest to go at home.
Yep.
Because that for me, ever since then, it changed. So now, like fried food, I don't really eat it as much, but I still like to eat every once in a while. But it's one of those that, like you said, like whatever helps you, whatever like it won't be perfect. I think that's the goal.
Yeah, but perfection isn't the thing that you're going for. You're just going for like consistently showing up. It's like the domino effect over a long period of time. It's the law of averages, right? But yeah, no. So the business, I've been in business for about 5 years. For myself, I am an online fitness and nutrition coach. So we work with clients basically that are looking to lose weight, gain muscle, accomplish, building confidence. Maybe they don't have an understanding of fitness in general, but really the biggest thing that we focus on with the online clientele that we work with is the nutrition education, like teaching them about macronutrients, what foods are comprised of, how much food to eat in your day for whatever specific goal that you have, and just those types of things. Really, it's really accountability coaching and educating through the food that you eat. But I also do some in-person training, so I've got like a couple select guys that I do private training with. Over at the gym, which, that's just various goals, whether it's like build muscle or just they want me to kick their butt. That's usually the guys that I'm training with right now. And then I do some work in the elderly senior homes around town where it's like assisted living, memory care, aquatics classes, stuff like that. And we do group fitness at the senior homes. So that's been pretty much what I've been up to for the past couple of years. Also do a lot of like influencer marketing. So I work with companies like Hyperwear and just, different, Bear Performance Nutrition over in Round Rock, BPN, Roan, the clothing that I'm wearing, just different companies like that I'll work with through social media. So I've built up, some following online just through sharing what I do, my fitness, what I eat, the mindset that I have, those types of things. And that's kind of what I've been working on. Long term, like I said, I do want to be focused on the coaching business, and that will lead to, making revenue and then taking that revenue and investing into like products and merchandise and then investments in like stocks and cryptos and stuff. So that's kind of like real estate, et cetera. The game plan for the financial future.
Whenever you decided to go into your own business, what was the first, like, how was that like? Because you're going in from finance to training to starting your business. Okay, you know what? The first step you took, like, okay, this is where it all starts. I'm on my own.
Yeah, the unknown is hard, very hard. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I decided that I didn't want to be I wanted to be in control. I didn't want to be told what to do, how much I'm worth, what times I had to be, where. I didn't want to be told that anymore in my life. I kind of made that decision that I'm going to just figure things out for myself. So whenever I moved to Austin and I quit that job within the first 3 days of being here, I basically made the decision, like, I'm just going to figure it out. So I took the savings that I had, which was probably like, I don't know, $30K maybe when I quit the job. And that's what I had. I had $30K of runway. And that probably bought me, like, I don't know, close to a year of time, close to that amount of time. And about 6 months into living in Austin, I got, just intermingled with some different CEOs. One of them actually called me a second ago while we were on this podcast. And, they were working they owned a supplement company in town. And I started basically being an ambassador for them, where I was like going around town, showing people about the products, just educating people, getting people on board with our team, doing events, and they were paying me. It was like, I don't know, $2K a month, just to do that. So I had $2K a month that paid my apartment and some food and gas, and I could do basically whatever I wanted to do with the rest of my time. And so that just kind of built up a network locally. And I started doing, different speaking gigs at UT and just like I started meeting different brands, and the network expanded locally, which led to more opportunities and just having more control of my time, so that kind of kick-started the entrepreneurial journey. And that gave me even more runway, more connections to where I started like, getting chiropractic adjustments for free. I started getting massages for free. I started like trading the things that I had, which might have been like my nutrition coaching or my social media presence. I could get people clients because I had, your audience is valuable, right? So that's like a form of currency, the eyes that you can bring. So I just started like dabbling in that world. And once I saw the potential of, 20 clients paying you $500 a month is $120K a year. 40 clients paying you what, 100 or 1,000 a month is like, it's astronomical, the numbers that you can really make. So once I realized like I could work less than 20 hours a week for myself training and make, close to six figures, that's a no-brainer. And I'm in the gym and I'm in control of my time, and I'm getting fit, because when I was in corporate America, I was sitting down and I was wasting away. I wasn't building myself up. Now I'm like on my feet, moving around, impacting people, changing my life, and also showing people how to change theirs. It's just like a totally different game. I'm playing a way different game than, maybe my sister or my dad and my parents are playing. They're in the game of rising up the ranks and working for somebody else, but I'm in the game of I'm the one that you are working for. Yeah. Yeah, one day I will have the employees and, people who delegate to me and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I was about to ask about that, because the way that you've kind of structured everything, you're a huge part of creating these programs for people and being that kind of like active life, fitness, health coach, right? But we all know as we get older, our bodies change and our capabilities change. But it's cool to hear you that you have like that kind of a longer term vision for what you built right now and how your role might, evolve over time.
Right. Yeah. I definitely know that I have to let go of the ego in order to build something that is going to be bigger than me. Right. And be able to help more people. I can't do that all on my own. I'm going to need to, again, like let go of the ego and know that people are better than me at certain aspects of certain jobs within the company. And whether that's like the coaching, the marketing, the voice, the sales, whatever it is, you need to step back and let other people come in to help. Kind of like with this podcast, we were talking about how like you're here and you do this aspects of the podcast, he's here and he does these aspects, but you guys are a team and you're going to help it grow more than maybe you would just singularly, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when, say for example, the pricing, and you don't have to give us an exact, but you just give us a range. What's like the lowest price package or whatnot or program, and what's the exclusive?
Yeah. So over time, you learn. I am not a person who has 1 million followers, so it's not like there are tens of thousands of people looking to purchase my program. If that was the case, the price point would be between like $10 and $30 or something like that, and you would be making generic, like, these are the workouts that I do. Buy the program, good luck. But the problem that I've seen with that is that there's no human element, there's no coaching, there's no one to ask questions to. It's just a blueprint to success, which is not going to work for everyone, right? Like my success path is not going to be the same as your success path. And the things that you enjoy might not be what I enjoy. Plus, your body might have some tightness here. And then these moves aren't going to be conducive or productive to your end goal of like being out of pain. So again, like the thing that I've kind of been drawn to is more specific coaching and very in your life coaching, where we're chatting every day, getting on video calls every week. There's a lot of monitoring and adjusting. So that type of thing is a high ticket, thing. It's like, It depends upon who I'm talking to be honest with you, because I'm not somebody who wants to get into a relationship with somebody where it financially hurts them. I want to be a positive thing in somebody's life. That being said, I value myself at like $1,000 a month. That's what I believe that I am worth. I mean, even more than that, I believe I'm worth millions. Like I have one, the attention span to like work with people and like really understand where they're coming from, and two, the results speak for themselves. Like I have testimonies and clients that are crushing it, you know. And it's not just because of what I know or my fitness program is better than anyone else's. It's just because of the human element of just like working with the person, and you're gonna be there for them until they get what they need, you know. But yeah, I'm definitely been playing around with the pricing. Usually it's like $500 to $1,000 a month, depending upon who it is. It's like a 4-month commitment. If we do like a 9-month commitment, it might be like a $300 or a $400 thing. Again, it just kind of depends upon where the person is at in life and what they're really looking to do. Because I can meet someone where they need to be for it to make sense for them, but we can just change the service up. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'll take anyone for any price. That's not really what I'm saying, but I am looking for like specific people who are open-minded, coachable, willing to learn, and actually want it. You got to put your money where your mouth is. You know, if you like want coaching, if you want mentorship, you can't expect to pay $100 and then get like an amazing service. You know, like you got to invest into yourself. I've invested into coaching, mentorship, business coaches. I've spent, you know, $30,000, $40,000, a lot of money into coaching. To me, that's a lot of money. And it's been invaluable. You know, you learn things from people who have already failed and like messed up. And they say like, dude, don't do this. Like, try this. It's going to work. I promise you, if you do this, it's going to work. So
that's an important thing when you talk about like coaching people, because every person is different, and when it comes up to price and they're trying to change their habit, the last thing you want is for the, you know, like the amount they're spending to be an investment more than an expense.
Right.
And when you think of it as an investment, your approach to whatever you want to do, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna commit to this and I'm gonna do it, instead of, God damn it, I have to talk to Ross again over the phone.
Yeah, I'll say anytime that somebody's paid me like $3,200 for 4 months, which is $800 a month, they want to learn. They are going to show up to the calls. They're going to do the workouts. They're going to make the meals. They're going to literally do what you ask of them because they're paying for it. They want to learn.
Right.
And the ones who pay $300 a month, I mean, granted, sometimes you do have some good ones, but they don't care as much. And it's just like, it's disheartening. That's why you have to really have that good conversation with that person. And again, I mean, this is, you know, fitness sales. You have a lot of people who they talk the talk and then they don't walk the walk. So it's like, yeah, I can't wait to sign. And then they could just ghost. You know, it happens all the time. And it doesn't faze me because it's just like, I know that whoever commits to working with me is going to get a great service and we're going to have a great relationship and it's going to be amazing. And the ones who don't, they're going to be stuck. And it's okay because maybe they'll figure it out, you know, maybe they will, but and that's fine. Like respect, no problem. You know, you don't have to spend money to get to where you want to be. I didn't. I did invest in coaching actually, but like for the very first like 10 years, it was just like YouTube videos and waking up and putting in work, like sheer effort, you know, and that's how I got there. But again, I alluded to this earlier. If you want to fast track your results, you hire a mentor and you invest. So
talk to us a little bit about what your packages include. Like what would like a typical program be under your services?
Yeah. Well, it would be dependent upon the person's goal.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Everyone's fitness, varies, right?
No, yeah. In fitness, the answer is always it depends. You know what I mean? If you're good at what you do and you know that like, oh, there's multiple approaches, it's usually it depends. But yeah, the approach that I like to take is usually, let's talk about a weight loss client, is usually we're going to do minimum 3 workouts a week. There'll be full body workouts. So instead of like a push-pull leg split, where if you've ever done a 60-minute leg workout, you know you're pretty freaking sore, which can lead to not being as consistent in the gym for a beginner, because when you're so sore, you're like, dude, like I need some time off. Like I need some time. But if you do full body workouts, which as in like, you know, 1 exercise for this muscle group, 1 exercise for this muscle group, and you just slowly move from thing to thing, it's not as intense in terms of soreness because you don't just hit the same muscle group for an hour. You kind of like get full body stimulus. I've found that leads to more consistency in the gym, and just feeling better overall. So that's like the first thing that I would do is full body workouts. But really, you're having new habit implementation, as in like the water, the home cooking, the food, the sleep, the de-stressing, maybe writing some things down, being mindful about some things. Those are like the golden nuggets that you're going to do with somebody. But then it's the food, right? The food is the biggest thing that like we're working on. The fitness and the movements and like the accountability, even that's like the cherry on top.
That's like the fun part. Yeah.
Right. Like the biggest thing is getting on the phone and having video conversation, talking about food and educating them about like, okay, you ate this, but if you would have changed like this out with this, it would have been more effective for this goal because of X, Y, and Z. I know it's a little vague, but it's really talking to people about the food and having them understand like, dude, you are greatly under eating for what you're trying to do. People, almost everyone who's trying to lose weight is either under eating and over training, as in doing too much cardio. Like a lot, you see it all the time. People are running and then they're under eating. They eat like 1,200 calories a day and then they run. They eat salads and like under eat protein. They're like, why am I not losing weight? Because you're not eating protein. And then people, even just answering, well, you need to eat more protein. People are like, well, how do I do that? Like, what has protein in it? And I'm just like a chicken breast, you know? Like, I mean, but then people are like, but I don't want to eat chicken and broccoli. Like, I want to eat something different. So then you have to meet people where they are and educate these, you know, people about these things. So it's simple things that maybe I feel like in Austin, Texas, we kind of live in a bubble where there's so many health food options and it's very health conscious around here, but in the general public, like it's not really like that.
Right.
You know, so just educating on simple things, I think that is the most important thing. But again, like what I'm selling isn't maybe different than like a different fitness coach, but what I am selling is the heart and the passion and the knowledge and the accountability.
Nice.
Right?
That's a great summary. And you kind of touched on it a little bit too on mindset and having potential people that you're working with. Some have the right mindset, others don't. What is that mindset, and how do you work with your clients on establishing and getting their mindset right?
Yeah, that's a great question, because sometimes I'll have phone calls with people and it's like, yeah, I don't know if this would be a good fit. Like I would have to really try to, you know, go above and beyond to even make you feel like you're happy. And then the wrong mindset is the person who just is like full of excuses, you know what I mean? Or like just makes up excuses like, well, I couldn't because of like the traffic at work. It's like, I mean, just stay up later.
There's traffic every day.
Yeah, like stay up later, like plan ahead, you know? And then there's the other people who are just, yep, I did the workout. It was great. Like, what do I need to do next? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there's just like those two versions of people. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like the ideal person is just the person who is just like going to commit, and then they ask questions and they're curious. I think that's like the best thing for me. But to get somebody to get into that like right mindset, it is hard to restructure, because you do have to know that motivation, one, is nothing without application, but it must come from within or it won't last. So like you can pay me to motivate you, but if you don't really want it yourself, eventually you give up, you know? So it all stems back to the reason why. And that's something that intrinsically you have to have on your own, you know? But if you know that you're not as motivated and all you need is simple accountability in the form of messaging, calling, showing up for you, then that also is one thing that I think is invaluable in and of itself. I was at the gym with a buddy, Jose. I've been training him for 3 years, and we were working out together on Friday, and we were done. We had just finished like a 2-hour workout. We were just kind of hanging out and leisurely working out, and he was like, hey, Ross, do you want to jump on this sled and I can pull you on it? And I'm like, I guess, sure. Like, okay. And so here we are like 2 hours in, and he's got me pulling him on the sled. I'm like, this is just a great form of accountability right here. Because without each other, we wouldn't be doing this. You You know, so I think just having an accountability buddy in your life, whether it's a friend, a mentor, a coach that you hire, that is the thing that can help you kind of like change your mindset when you are having somebody else in your life that's like trying to light a fire under you.
I love that, man. I love that you touched on that accountability partner, because that's what got me into fitness. My buddy from college, Ryan McCulloch, he was taking a weightlifting class, and he's the one who kind of motivated me to wake up early and go to the gym with him at crazy hours. But that little push and nudge and accountability factor, because we were also roommates.
Oh wow,
dude, that like changed my life when it got, because I wasn't terrified of gyms, but it was just something that I wasn't like knocking at the door and trying to sign up. I just, my fitness routine was just soccer, just playing. But after, you know, that experience with him, I took that weightlifting class and I started to incorporate gym and weightlifting into my life, and it changed me, man. It made me stronger and more motivated. I feel like more complete.
I feel like you're a product of your environment.
Correct.
Right? So like you were in that environment with him, you were just always consistently like feeding these things into your mind, you know, and then it's just part of who you become. I know I talked about Braden earlier for a second. He lived with me last year, and he said after living with Savannah and I've always been super consistent with my eating habits. Mm-hmm. And then that's something that Savannah shares, that same quality. She's super consistent with her eating. And Braden did not have that quality, and he was trying to gain muscle, and we basically used him, our roommate, our friend, as like a guinea pig, and we were like, let us make some macros for you, and we're gonna help you with the food. Dude, he gained like 20 pounds of muscle. It was insane, because he had never gone through like a bulking phase, and he gained a lot of muscle. It was really crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he put it on quickly. It took like a whole year, but it was impressive, you know? Yeah. And it was the form of accountability and being around us, just changing the environment that like really hit it home for him.
So after he moved out, did you know, here's the invoice? Or
Nah, his love and friendship was good enough payment for me. Yeah, I love that guy. So when you see this, right?
Yeah. No, that's like, say, accountability is it's a thing that, like, I mean, I grew up Christian, but accountability can be two ways, right? It can be a motivating thing, but it can also be a dragging thing.
Yeah.
For me, when I thought of accountability, I thought of like, okay, it's not something like you want to share that went good, but share what you did wrong.
Yeah.
But the approach was, I always had a negative approach instead of having an approach of understanding the person, because
I see what you're saying.
Because whenever you can't understand, because like, say for example, how you're talking about clients and what different goals and what they're trying to get to, is like, when you first have to understand the person, you first have to get to know them in order to have someone like be accountable to you, especially in leadership. And then a lot of people think of accountability as a negative thing. But whenever you approach it and let me get to know you, and then I get to know where your strengths, but also I get to know where your weaknesses are, it's easier for the person that wants to do a transformation or change their habit to embrace the accountability part and embrace the plan that you're about to give them, and they don't feel like shit every time they talk to you. They actually feel like, man, I need to talk to Ross, because Ross, he's helping me transform and helping me become this person I want to become. So that's one thing that I see, like, you're doing good. It's just how you're always wanting to know the person and what their goals are, and then from there you build on that. And for me, like, say in a pricing, and that goes with your pricing, is now I know like why you say you're worth what you're worth, because it's not just training. It's not just transform your body in 30 days. It's more than that.
Right. Yeah, nobody likes, at least in my perspective, nobody likes being told what to do, but a good friend, a real friend, a good coach is going to tell you what you need to hear, not maybe what you want to hear, and not being like hard on people or mean, but just being real and saying like, hey, look, this is why you have me in your life, is to tell you these things. And I'm just going to tell you the way that I see it and what needs to happen for you to get to where you want to be. You've communicated to me what you want to happen, and I'm telling you that X, Y, and Z needs to be in place for you to get to where you want to be. And that's just the reality of it. And that's fine. I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to get through it together. Like, we're going to do it together. And I mean, that's the beauty and accountability. But I do hear what you're saying in forms of like, yeah, having somebody like, let me check in on you, like, yeah, it's like, dude, get out of here. Yeah, I totally get that.
No, that's good. And then from the clients that you have, what is something that you feel like it was a memorable client? You don't have to share like something like say a personal story, but something that you feel like, man, I just want to hear. I saw them struggle at first, and they have so many doubts, but now they're like in a different level.
Yeah, well, I mean, my man Jose, I've been training him for 3 years. He was, pre-diabetic before we met each other. He had a stroke in his sleep shortly after I knew him. And so for him to change his habits, that has now changed his life. I feel like a lot of people have, say, oh, well, genetics, and like put a crutch on the genetics, but it's really, you can alter your DNA by changing your lifestyle and changing the foods that you eat. So watching him, go from pretty overweight and sedentary lifestyle, drinking full of, antidepressants and medications, to now none of that stuff. All he does is, pray. He has a very good faith. He eats healthy foods. And his lifestyle is all about the sauna, the ice baths, sled pushing, movement, working out. He completed his first marathon. He ran 26.2 miles, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Jose is savage.
He's absolutely savage, dude.
That's good to hear.
And like, just to watch the transformation before my eyes based on the things that I was telling him to do. And showing him, I was showing him what I was doing. I've watched him change his life, man. And now he's even gone through a life certification coaching, program where he's now coaching others on like mental health and things. And it's just, he's still working the same job, but he was working the night shift in a job for over 25 years, where he would work this night shift for the news station, and he was sleeping during the day. So up all night, every night for 25 years. I got him to switch his schedule to where he now works from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. and he sleeps throughout the night. And it's literally changed his whole freaking reality, dude.
Good.
Like the oxygen that he actually gets to his brain from getting good sleep instead of just sleeping like 3 to 4 hours a night for 20 something years. So that's been really cool and really motivating for me to see, because I'm just like, I know the things that I tell people to do, they work. Like, you just got to be consistent and then do them, and not make the excuses of why you can't do them, because everyone has the same 24 hours, and the people that you look up to that are successful or have the body that you want, or the money or relationship or whatever it is that you want, they have the same time you do. They just do different things in their day. They are doing different things with their time than you might be, And so that once I realized, like, okay, so all I have to do is apply myself in a different way over the average person. I can get on extraordinary things, like, okay, and that's just kind of been my mindset around coaching and showing others like what you can do when you apply yourself. You guys have been thorough. I read the outline actually before the episode. I was like, oh, let's go. These guys are good. This is gonna be good.
If there's one consistency we got, is like, let's have it to where Goka made a good point, and it's, you want people to come in and you don't want to waste their time, but you always want to give them like, hey, and I want to have, show the outline as a guidance, but also know what we're going to talk about, and not have them blindsided by a question that's going to get them in trouble, or they might not, it's like for the safety of us and for the safety of the person. So that way there's not like, I want to get a hot take. Like we'll get anyone in trouble.
This is not one of those podcasts where we're like, we're just trying to get you to stumble or embarrass or say something that's going to just get a bunch of views or something, something stupid. That's not who we are. We've always been about highlighting the individual and what's passionate about.
Awkward. Like just being like impressed in like an interview.
Dude, yeah, because I mean those podcasts are out there, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
They're out there.
Definitely.
And you know they do super well in terms of like, you know, metrics and stuff.
No,
but
you guys are so genuine.
That's not how we are, dude.
Yeah, no, you guys have been so genuine, and this has been like super fun.
Hell yeah.
Super fun.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And now let's go into one thing I want is just everything's online in your business. And then do you also do you also do personal training?
I do personal training in person. I think that's where the business really started, was people were asking me if I wanted to, or if I would train in person, and I started doing a little bit of that, and then I saw the potential with the online. So that's where I see the thing, or the reason why you go into online fitness is because us trainers, we want to make an impact, but we can't make an impact at scale because we only have 24 hours in the day, and 8 of those we're going to sleep, So to make an impact at scale, you need to go online, and that's just being selfless and wanting to change more lives. So that's why I made the decision to go online. But I do train people in person, and for me to basically accept a client hiring me in person, it would have to be somebody who, is a male who wants to really push themselves in the gym, lift some heavy weights, do athletic things. It wouldn't be somebody who wants to like go through a weight loss process, just because I have had these clients and I'm just more attracted to like really having somebody, like let's put 3 to 4 plates on the bar and we're going to deadlift it, like it's going to be hard, but it's very rewarding for me to have this knowledge of training in terms of like bodybuilding and circuit training and progressive, whatever it is, to where then I can apply that with somebody who is just willing to give it their all, and that is satisfying to see. I had this one guy, Mark Jones, that I just trained him before I came over here, and he's an Ironman, so he's a badass, and man, that guy pushes. Like whatever I tell him we're gonna do, he's gonna crush it. And just every time I train with him, I leave having more energy. And so, for me to train somebody in person, it's somebody who does not drain me of my energy, and somebody who like I can pour into them and they just give it right back to me. That's fulfilling.
Man, that's a good thing to hear, because you feed off your own like product.
Yeah.
And when you're feeding off your own product, you get energy from your own product, you're gonna have that extra motivation to do it and do it and do it and add different things, add different dynamics, and it won't feel like it's a drag or it's just another job. And it, like you were saying, you wanted to get out of corporate America for a reason. Now, it's all just like, coming in together in this circle.
It's funny because, you get out of corporate America because you don't want to sit down. Then you get into personal training so that you can be in the gym and move your body. Then you get into online training and you spend 8 hours at your computer sitting down. So it's just like, it's funny how it goes.
It finds a way to.
Yeah, it's full circle.
Way, yeah.
It's full circle every time. But again, I have the power to be like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go walk my dogs.
Yeah.
I'm going to cook some food at my house, be in control. So I have to remind myself, like, this is a way that you make money. You've built this for yourself. Mm-hmm. This is like a privilege, and you're doing good in the world. So whenever it's like gets hard, or like, I'm having to be at the computer and like do these things, it's just a reminder that like I'm building my future and I'm not building somebody else's.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
That's good. And it's kind of like an airplane. Whenever shit goes down, put your mask on first and then someone else's.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Man. And how can they reach out to you and Savannah?
My Instagram is probably the best place to find me, which would be at Rossman, Rossman. Paid good money for that handle. So,
at Rossman.
At Rossman.
Hey, hit him up at Rossman Instagram.
Yeah. And then Savannah is Savannah Night 7.
Savannah Night 7.
With a K.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the spot to find me on the gram.
Man, that's cool. He's, you reach out to him. This guy's very approachable. Don't be afraid. And anything that, say, for example, you want to share besides your business and you to the audience before we wrap up?
I will say, commit to yourself. Nobody's going to do the work for you, and you have to really want to push yourself and to learn about yourself. But the biggest thing I can say is just commit to yourself and don't wait till Monday or till tomorrow to start. Like, start today, start now, because the only thing that you're going to do by delaying the inevitable, which is the only thing you're going to do is just set yourself up for, delayed gratification. Just start now, commit to yourself. I remember back when I was in college, my freshman year, a bunch of my friends from high school that were going into college, they just didn't apply themselves, and they didn't go to class, they didn't go to the library, and they all failed. And I was like one of the only kids from my high school that actually passed the first semester in college. And that was such a learning lesson that none of these people were committing to their self or their future. They were just fucking off. And that's the results that they were getting, was just not good ones. So if you are looking to make a change and you know that you have to make a change, start today. Start today. Don't wait. Don't wait. Commit to yourself.
Great, man. Those are excellent words, Ross. You're a remarkable human being, man. Thank you for coming to our podcast and sharing your story. A lot of great content in there. We covered a wide variety of things. People know where to reach you at Rossman, Instagram. And basically, man, thank you for being here. We've all learned a little bit, and I'm ready to apply this to my day tomorrow, dude.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm usually at this time of night, like
winding
down.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna have to I don't know, drink some calming tea.
It's funny. Savannah was like, "Yeah, whenever you get home, like you're gonna be so tired." And I actually told her, I was like, "Actually, I feel like I'm gonna be charged the fuck up."
Hey, let's go!
I will.
Whenever you get with people and you have good conversation, you just feel the energy is like received. You know what I mean? So anyway, this has been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you guys holding space and giving me the opportunity to just speak on some of the things that are in my head, and this has been amazing. So thank you guys.
Man, thank you for sharing your story, your work, and we wish you the best. We wish you and Savannah the best, and your dogs as well. This has been another episode of Otra, por favor.
Otra, por favor.
Se cuidan, se portan bien. Adiós y arriba el América.
Woo. Oh, yeah.